In conclusion, I like to say, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate this day. You know, as I heard everybody talking, it just brings back memories of starting at Lake School. I had a boss by the name of Robert Ellis. The first trip I took the band on, it was Winona, Pennsylvania. I went up to him and I said, Bob, I'm going to Winona, Pennsylvania. I walked out, and I came back and I said, Mr. Bellis, I'm going to Winona, Pennsylvania with the band. I said, I heard you the first time. And this is the kind of administration I always worked with her at Lake-Lehman. They were always superb, and they cooperated with the band program. The school board, the teachers, the students mostly, and the band parents. You're talking about super individuals as the band parents. When I moved my percussion section from on the field to off the field, I asked for a cart. And 2 days I had a cart with rubber wheels. This is the kind of cooperation I got from the parents. So we're partners. And there were mention about Sherburne, New York. I remember the first trip there. And I remember winning the first trophy at the end of the group. I do remember coming back to Lake-Lehman, and there was a cavalcade of cars. We were at Hanson's in Harvest Lake. The cars were still coming in that sense. This is the kind of cooperation that was done for the band here at this school. You know, I'm not prepared to do a speech. I guess you all raised your mind. But the pride and the confidence of the young people, but the discipline was where we started. When I started in the business, we had to be different. For you to be successful in music, you had to be different. You couldn't be the same. So my first bands marched fast. So everybody tried to duplicate that, but they couldn't do it. So everything we did was different. We, at a halftime show, we raised the American flag amongst the silks and put the Statue of Liberty in the middle of the American flag. But the Statue of Liberty had a gown, a crown, and all her finagle. She did not walk on the field. She appeared on the field. So that was the kind of thing I always worked on, a surprise to the audience. And that's what made the Lake-Lehman band. We're talking about the pro games. I remember going down to Franklin Field with the Eagles and the Cleveland Browns. I walked in the stadium with 140 people, and the manager of the stadium said to me, Warren Covington is here. If you don't know who Warren Covington is, he's the leader of the Glen Miller Orchestra. He's going to play Teach for Two Cha-Cha, where he recorded with his band. Now, so I know you don't respond to that. Now, can you imagine me telling 100 players that ad-lib E flat, Teach for Two Cha-Cha? And I said to him, well, we're not professionals. He said, but this is professional football. So I got together with Warren Covington. I said, we have a problem. And I said, we have to do something. So what we did, we took the percussion and we gave him a Latin beat. He played his T for Two Cha-Cha. We did our show, we did our bow, and we played the people never knew the words. So that was another experience. You're talking about another game that we played for was the Eagles in Miami. That I found out that there was an opera singer going to sing with the Star Spangled Banner with the band at the pregame. So what you don't know, if you're down on the field, you don't hear human beings, you hear a roar. But the problem down on the field is you don't hear the vocalists. So the way we pull it off, I said, what I did with him, I took a pair of white gloves, I watched his lips move, and we pulled it off that way. But if you weren't prepared for something like that, it could have been a disaster. And Jay Ruffles said here, this young man was up here before. I'm playing with a band, I gotta tell you a quick story. We left here, we're playing in New York. The other trumpet player couldn't make it, so I called Jay up 4 o'clock in the morning for the bus. I said, Jay, I need a trumpet player. These are my students, right? I called him, I said, I need a trumpet player. He said, Mr. Moss, were you drinking? And I said, no, but we met, he came and played with the band and did a very fine job. So that was a well day. We had a good time that day. Let me see, I can't read my own notes. Parades. I remember going to Washington, getting in that parade, and getting caught in it. Jay Gillespie was one of the administrators with me. We got caught in that parade, and then we saw all that was going on in it. But we did go back the next year. All the major trips that I ever did, Jay Gillespie was right there with me. So when I was talking about administration, unfortunate, and all the years I was here, the band won a lot of championships. And when we traveled, they used to say, where is Lake-Lehman? And I used to say, well, it's near Dallas. Then I had to stop doing that. It's not near Dallas. They didn't know where Dallas, Pennsylvania was. So I used to say, it's the outskirts of Wilkes-Barre. Actually, when we were out of town in Kentucky, wherever we were, Wilkes-Barre got on the map because they didn't know, and that's a true story. But I remember the Kentucky parade we did. We're on our way back, and we had 4 or 5 buses, and we stopped at a hotel. And it's on the way back, and it was very late. We went into the hotel, and the person says, "We don't have no reservations." Now I got 4 or 5 buses of people, right? But what it was. The hotel was down the road about 2 miles. But all my roomies at Lake-Lehman, I was proud to be part of the system. And they're all good people. And support the schools, but support the band programs, because most people don't know the advantage of playing an instrument. It's a discipline, and it's something that will rub off on other subjects. So don't let anybody cut music out of schools. Thank you.